course, the major thing that was going on that everybody was concerned with is the Vietnam War. I remember seeing nightly news, 6 o'clock news, and every time the news came on at 6 o'clock, the very first thing they had was how many soldiers had been killed in Vietnam. And when you lead the news every night with that, it gets very depressing. Also, it was the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1965, and the same year the Beatles became very popular. So you had another thing going on inside the United States that was totally divisive in the whole country, and that was the end of segregation and the fight to have equal opportunities for all races, the attendance at traditionally white universities and public schools by black students was not well accepted. There were racial battles going on. Whole cities erupted in flames and riots and violence. Detroit, Los Angeles, and Chicago and Washington, D.C. Had unbelievable riots and destruction of property and loss of life. In 1968, 4 students were killed at Kent State by the National Guard, which they were white students. They were protesting school policies, and it wasn't even violent, and the National Guard stepped in and started firing, and 4 of them died. I still remember those images of the 4 students lying on the ground and other students wailing and moaning, and of course then the government then became the bad guy. And then in '72, which again was in the high years of the Beatles, early '70s, Watergate happened, and that completely destroyed the confidence of the American public toward their elected officials. And so all of those, I have never seen a time since or before then that so many things were going on. In that whole culture, the Beatles started being the voice of all the young people. And not just them, but they were the #1 group, and it seemed to be they were the voice of the young people opposed to the voice of the older establishment. And so it was a tremendous time of rebellion and violence and upheaval.